He's Kevin Vandam, champion bass fisherman. He's a Team Toyota angler. He's KVD, who joins us now. Kev, we're having trouble here trying to figure out what exactly is a catch. And, you know, the Des Bryant catch or non-catch is where this started. So we thought, if I get a fish in the boat, if we're just counting fish, not weighing them, is that a catch?
Well, it is, but, you know, we kind of have a little gray area in our rule, too, you know, and the fact that it's got to be hooked inside the mouth. So, and in some cases, you know, you'll be throwing a crankbait with treble hooks or something like that, and, you know, a bass will swat at it, and you'll catch him, you know, with one hook in the mouth and one out, and it's a catch. But if both hooks are out, like in the state of California, their law says it has to be in the mouth.
But if I put him in the boat, it's like if you have
that's
both.
A catch.
Okay,
if you get him in the boat, that's a catch, man. In my book, it's a catch. Hard as they are to get sometimes, I'm counting it. So I'm a Lions fan, as you know. So that whole deal with Calvin Johnson, that was a catch.
Could you teach somebody to be a great fisherman?
I think I can. Yeah, I can make them better for sure.
What's the first thing you would teach me?
Well, you got to spend a lot of time at it. You know, it's like anything else. You know, I mean, I like to golf, but I'm horrible at it because I don't get any time to do it. So that'd be the number one thing is you got to practice more. Probably the best thing. You know, right now I'm sitting out on Toledo Bend Reservoir in Texas, and the lake's real high and flooded, and there's a lot of bass moving up shallow around all the trees and stuff out here in the lake. And you got to be a really good caster. You got to be able to get your lure back underneath the brush and stuff where they're at. And a lot of fishermen can't. So that'd be the first thing that I teach is casting skills.
Are you fishing right now?
Actually, I'm standing here talking to you on the phone, and I've got a Bassmaster writer with me, a guy named David Hunt-Jones. He writes for Bassmaster.com and stuff all the time, and he's sitting here throwing at a bass that's on a bed off the bow of my boat, and he's not doing a very good job. So I need to show him how it's done here and catch this fish.
Well, tell him to hold the phone, and then you catch a fish for us.
I can try. It might take a few minutes.
Oh, okay, but I'm more of a fly fisherman.
Yeah, well, I like to fly fish too. You know, I mean that's more something that I do for fun. You know, I mean kind of in the off time. But you know, when we're serious hardcore bass fishing, you know, fishing tournaments and things like that, you use whatever it takes to get them. You know.
Why bass and not catfish or bluegill or go down the list here? Why bass?
I love bass because, well, first off, you know, they're probably the most diverse and widely found species around the country. I mean, they're from one side of the country to the other, and I mean, even in Europe and Mexico and Canada, you can find bass everywhere. And I just like the way that, you know, that they bite and fight. You know, it's probably the same thing you might say about a steelhead or a salmon, you know, fly fishing. You know, you might like what they do, but I just like bass. I mean, it's always different any place that you go. You know, like right now I'm in Texas, and the fishing down here is a lot different than it is like where I grew up in Michigan, but yet it's still a challenge. So I love the challenge of figuring out how to catch a bass, and especially catch big ones. This place we're at here has some really big fish in it. So,
do you have groupies?
Kind of, yeah. We have a lot of fans that come out and support us in that. We had a big tournament last week in Orange, Texas, which is kind of right down there on the right near the ocean, you know, on the Texas Gulf Coast. And man, we had 15,000 people come out there.
Wow.
to the weigh-in. So it's a pretty big deal. You ought to come sometime.
Well, where do you get recognized? If we're just walking down the street.
You know what? Everywhere. It's you know, the biggest thing that probably really helped put bass fishing close or more mainstream is when we started to be on ESPN. You know, I mean, our tournaments air on ESPN2 on the weekends now, and so when that happened, you know, a lot of just everyday sports fans really got to see what bass fishing is all about, or competitive bass fishing anyways. And, you know, I've won some of the big events, the Bassmasters Classic, and, you know, that coverage that ESPN has done has really made a big difference for us. So, I get recognized all over the place.
Are you the Tom Brady of bass fishermen?
Well, I wouldn't say that because I don't think anybody is equal to Tom Brady. To me, he's the greatest all-time NFL quarterback. I got to meet him at the ESPYs. Oh, geez, right after he won his first Super Bowl there.
Oh, nice.
I was at the ESPYs. I actually won an ESPY for outdoor athlete that year, and I watched
Kevin, are you an athlete?
Yeah, absolutely. Come hang with me for a day if you don't think so.
Well, how physical is it going to get?
It gets pretty physical. The thing about what we do is it's like a marathon. We go for 8.5-hour competition day, and it's wide open the whole time. There's no timeouts. There's no breaks. And I've fished with every other professional athlete in other sports, and that's one thing they all say is, boy, I'm just amazed at how tiring it is to do. And it's the same. It's the same if you put me on the playing field with an NFL player or on the court with an NBA player or anything like that. You get conditioned to your sport, and that's how it is for me. But I got one of those Fitbits. My wife got me one for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I put one on my wrist, and it just I'll knock it off the charts. It's just ridiculous. The amount of effort that goes into it and the amount of casts that I make in a day. And our sport is physical, but it's also very mental. Trying to figure out the fish, and because most of the time we can't really ever see them. We're kind of guessing where they're at, and trying to figure out what it's going to take to get them to bite on that given day, and following the weather and the conditions. And,
yeah, but the hard
we don't
part,
have any.
Kevin, would be going 8-9 hours without having beer. So that's why I wouldn't be a good fisherman.
You'd be out for that. Huh?
Yeah. Now, are you allowed to drink beer during competition?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
No, absolutely not. No,
all right, then I'm not going to do it, Kev. That's it.
Well, you don't have to compete. Sometime I have to get you out on the boat, though.
Do you have a vanity? Do you have a vanity license plate? Do you have keeping it real, REEL?
No, I don't.
You do not.
I'm not. No, I don't have a giant ego like that.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
How about bass?
There's a lot of guys that do.
Bass kicker. How about that?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on short notice, and good luck there on the lake. And we appreciate it, Kev.
Hey, I appreciate it, Dan. We'll see you.
All right.
Down the road one of these times.
All right.
I'll stop by and say hi at the Super Bowl or something.
I love it. KVD. That's Kevin Vandam, champion bass fisherman.